Hello everyone, welcome to Grow Your Future with Luxland. I'm Zah, CEO of Luxland Investments, and today we are joined by my usual suspects, Jade and Mark.
Hello. How are we?
Good evening.
Good evening. How are we all?
Hi everyone.
Hello,
Thanks
everyone.
for joining us.
We have a special episode, don't we?
Well, we weren't here last week.
2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks?
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks without fire.
We were flying the first week.
Yeah. And now we're
I
back.
can't believe it's been 2 weeks.
We
I thought
read-
it was only 1 week.
We did read a couple of books on the plane, so
Yeah.
Alright, so we're
got
back.
We're
2
still
weeks,
a bit
2
of
weeks
fire.
worth of catch up.
yeah,
We're pumped.
We're pumped.
We're pumped.
so pumped.
We are. So, guys, what we're talking about today is your experience last week at GrowthCon. 10X GrowthCon, I should say. Hosted by Grant Cardone. And if you guys don't know who that is, it's he's a massive property millionaire, which obviously you guys will explain in further detail. But he's praised by the Americans over there, isn't he? He's
love him.
He's the man of
They
the
love
hour.
him. So
yeah,
that's the reason why we weren't here was because we were in Vegas and we went to GrowthCon, which is a massive business conference of how many people? 10,000 people. 10,000 people went to this thing, like-minded people.
Yeah, it was
It's
amazing.
it was crazy. It's this
Nothing
just
we've
4
seen
days,
before.
3 days, three
4
days,
4 days.
4 days of just fire, absolute fire. Now Grant Cardone, we talk about silent mentors all the time on this
Yep.
podcast, and
Yep.
he has got to be one of my favourite silent mentors because he's in real estate, he's raw, he's authentic, he's new age, like he's the real deal as well. Like the guy's worth almost $1 billion, right?
That's insane,
and
yeah.
he's done so well. And man, he looks about 40 years old, and he's 58.
What's a small, like a very quick 1-2 minute recap on his background? How did he get to where he is?
Well, Grant Cardone, he comes from sales,
Yep.
right? So he was a junkie originally, and he was
Rehab.
yeah, he went to rehab, and he wanted to turn his life around. And when he was 25, and he turned to sales he was a used car salesman actually, and then he entered into sales training because he became so good at it, and then turned to real estate, and that's where I guess I get a lot of motivation from him from the real estate side of things. And now, like, he's massive on personal development. So the Growth Conference, like, he had so many good speakers there, like so many good speakers from all over the world, you know. Some of the speakers that our listeners would recognise is Damon John,
Ty Lopez.
a lot of
Ed Milet.
a lot of guys who are really strong on the social media circuit now, and but overall it was just a really good experience for us because it's so different.
Yeah,
It was something that I've never experienced in my life, and I think I would describe it as, and I'm a pretty excited person as it is, but if I can think logically, like at all the experiences that I've had in my life, in my career, my personal life, getting married was the best experience of my life and the best day of my life. That conference that we went to last week was one of the best experiences. That was definitely up there.
Look, I've been to conferences before where like entrepreneurial conferences here, obviously property conferences, all of those sort of things. I mean, we went to one in Brisbane, Mark, which was quite exciting. Like we liked that, but it just doesn't compare. The Americans do it so well.
I felt like I was at a 50 Cent concert.
Well, we had
half
Flow
the time.
Rider. Flow Rider came. Flow Rider
came out.
on the Friday, on the first day at 6 p.m. Flow Rider came out. It was just an awesome show. Like it was like what we like to call it edutainment. So it's education, but it's entertaining at the same time. So it's really attention grabbing. I don't know if that sort of stuff will work here in Australia because people will kind of tear that sort of stuff down and go, "Oh, what are you doing that for?" And I mean, in America, they love that. They love the fireworks. They love the fire. They love the energy. Here, people just, it's so dry and vanilla, right? And you only tend to really attract the sort of prim and proper corporate dudes to these types of things. Where what we were finding at this particular conference was that was so diverse.
Yeah.
You had bodybuilders there. You had, guys in suits there. You had heaps of women there. People from all over the world. It was really exciting.
There was one really interesting story that I found. It just completely blew me away. a guy who was broke, and he was running a tattoo parlor in Idaho, I think, Boise, Idaho. And he's 5 years later, he's built his company up to his net worth is now $40 million just from that business.
Wow, it's incredible.
Like that, and I know it's a lucrative industry, but you just don't think that those numbers can be achieved, but they really can. So it was really motivating to be around those types of people. And we went to the conference, and we actually stayed at the event. It was at the Mandalay Bay.
Yep.
And so we stayed at the Mandalay Bay because obviously it was 12-hour days basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just convenient, but everyone was staying there as well. So you were just constantly 24/7 around these people.
You're immersed in it.
Yeah, you're going to the gym, the cardio center in the mornings, and there's just literally people running 20Ks on the treadmill.
5 a.m, this cardio centre is packed. It's full because everyone is on.
Yeah, that's right.
It's amazing... You can't explain the environment. It's, we operate like that at home and like that in every aspect of our life, but to be around people that you don't even know...
Oh, it's crazy.
It's amazing.
It's like, for you listeners out there, the best way to describe it is that imagine Jade and I times 10,000. Or times 5,000, right? Because there's 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
Imagine people like us, but 10,000 of us.
Yeah.
So motivating.
And it's so good. Like, it was like, we didn't go out once in Vegas because we had all our energy was into this conference. It was just 12 hours of fire, and there was so much knowledge that we took away from it. And I think the biggest thing that I took away from it is that don't ever put a cap on your sort of belief system.
Yep.
Never limit your beliefs. Like, you can do whatever you want. Here in Australia, I really feel that everyone's putting caps on each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh, you want to take over this industry. Bah, you can't do that. No, there's no way you're going to do that. How's that bloke going to do it, right? And then everyone just puts these caps on each other, and what happens is that we condition ourselves to think that we're only limited to, doing only small things or average things. And the thing is, because we live in the best country in the world, being average is actually not that bad. You can live a good life being average, right? Like, I know so many people that have told me in the past, Zah, like, why do you push yourself so hard? Like, you've done so well already. Why do you keep driving to be rich? Or why do you keep driving to have more? And it's really frustrating because all I want to do is do the right thing by my family, do the right thing by my network, and just keep growing because, number one, I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But number two, it's not just about being rich. For me, it's more so that I don't want to feel the pain of having no money again.
Yeah.
Because I've been through that. I've been through that pain, and knowing that pain could be around the corner at any time drives me to just go hard. Right? And Grant Cardone's got a really good saying, and he said it at the conference, and he said, people who strive to be great and to succeed and have money are perceived to be selfish because all they think about is money. But really, being poor and living in poverty is even more selfish because you can only look after yourself. If I'm rich, I can look after all of those around me. I had a friend the other day who came to me and he said, Zah, like, my business needs a bit of money, right? Otherwise, like, I'm gonna go bankrupt. I'm gonna need a little bit of money to keep it afloat. I was able to give him some money, right? It wasn't that much, but I was able to keep him going, right? If I didn't have money, right, and I'm not the richest bloke like in town, but if I didn't have that wealth to share, I could only help myself.
Exactly.
So you're actually being very, very selfish by staying average or by staying poor because you can't help others.
That's right. Yeah,
I agree.
That's very well put, actually, because it's a lot of people will hear that and go, oh, how's that so? But the way you've explained it, and it's the way that you utilise that money, that wealth. You could be greedy and go, no, it's all mine. But in your instance, you're a giving person. You want everyone around you. Both of you guys are very.
Look, we're at an age now where you don't know what's going to happen to your parents.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I want to make sure that I've got enough wealth to look after my parents.
Yeah.
Right? Because they looked after me for the good part of 30 years or whatever it is. right? Like, I want to be able to look after them. Jade's parents, they're also my parents, right? Like, I need to be able to look after them. If I was poor, right, or if I had the poor mindset or the broke mindset, I'd be struggling to look after myself.
That's right.
Right? So it's really important that, because what's happening is that the middle class is getting squeezed out to the lower class, and to the wealth gap's getting really, really, a lot bigger than what it is. And as time goes on, that will stretch out. And what's going to happen is that you're going to have people who are really going to be poverty stricken, or you're going to have the wealthy, which are literally going to be the top 5% of the nation, controlling everything, right? Yeah. But the thing is, we're all capable of getting some of that wealth. And that's what the conference was all about, right, Jade? It was all about being able to tap into that wealth. What is your potential, right? What can you do? Who is your network? How resourceful can you be, right? These guys are telling us stories. They've all come from nothing.
Yep.
Literally everyone.
All of them.
Literally every one of them have come from nothing, and they're worth millions. We're not talking like, 5, 10, 15 million. Like, these guys are hundreds of millions of dollars, and these guys are they're young. Like Brad Lee, he's young.
Brad Lee's
like
probably
40.
in his 40s. Yeah,
early 40s.
He's got a very young family.
Very inspirational. But you know what? It took him 15 years to get that company to where it is today.
Yeah.
Right, his company is virtual training. Or
Lightspeed VT.
Yeah, it's like
virtual training.
Yeah, virtual training business, right?
But it's blown up.
This guy turns over, right? He makes in his pocket 50 mil a year.
Wow.
Right. However, it's taken him 15 years to crack that.
Yeah.
Took him 11 or 12 years before he started making good money.
I think it changed going to GrowthCon for the very first time. I know it was only the second GrowthCon, and I certainly don't. If I can control it, I don't want to miss a GrowthCon ever. I think being around these people and listening to these people definitely taught me that, you can. There's a cap, I guess. I don't want to slander this country too much, but there's a little bit of a cap. You're kind of being, just sit there and it's okay. Don't do too much. You can't do this. You can't expose yourself too much. When going over there was great because they're like, why not? You have to go all in. One of the speakers in particular that I want to talk about was Tim Story, who was he was a very dramatic speaker. It was incredible.
He cried like a baby.
He was really good, but he was talking about, he said you can't go back to the smoke once you've gone out and played with fire. So you can't do that. So make a decision. Are you going to go out there? If you're going to go out there, you can never come back to the smoke. Never, ever again.
And it's all about making that decision, right? Like if you've made that decision, don't. So a lot of people, I find that I come across them in business, right? They're half in, half out. They'll go, I want to give it a go. I want to dabble, right? I want to dabble just so I can see how it goes, right? No. You can't dabble. You got to go all in.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Go all in. And you know what? If you fail, get back up again and go all in again.
That's right.
Right? Because the experience that you get from going all in, the risk that you take, I think that was one of the biggest things that Brad Lee was talking about. Is like taking risk. Like not taking risk as in like, let's invest 10 grand or let's invest 100 grand. No, that's like, we're talking about leave your job, right? Leave that security. Go all in with your funds and give it a good crack. How many people are going to do that? Not many, right? And that's what separates the losers from the winners, right? And it's plain and simple. The bigger the risk, the bigger the adversity, the bigger the failures, the bigger the lessons, right? And the stronger you become.
Who, Zah, I have a feeling I might know who it is, but who was your favourite speaker at GrowthCon?
Look, so the first day we had obviously Grant Cardone came on.
The first day was called the $1 Billion Sales Summit.
Yeah, so they split the 3 days up, right? The first day we had Grant Cardone was on